Shalom, my friends, and shalom, my enemies, and shalom, everybody else in between. I am Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. I want to tell you what a delight it is for me to welcome two guests, and now three, well, two guests, plus me is three. I can't count. We have JANIS SIEGEL in the neighborhood, a songstress, singer-type person, as well as a musical director and pianist and arranger and composer-type person in YARON GERSHOVSKY. Oh, I love saying these Jewy names. Anyway, they're with us to talk about a project that they're doing that is coming out on CD this Friday. It is a compact disc called The Colors of My Life, a Cy Coleman songbook dedicated to Broadway and Ping Pong Alley composer Cy Coleman. And they're going to be at Birdland performing these on Tuesday, June 11th. But they're right here with us in the neighborhood on this Shabbos morning. Welcome, JANIS and Yaron.
Nice to be here.
Wow. Nice pace.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
I got them at Payless.
Very good.
Oh my God.
So let's get the most important question out of the way.
Okay.
How Jewish are you people?
Yaron, you want to go first?
Well, by default, I was born Jewish. I'm Jewish.
Wow, you really talk Jewish. You were in Israel for a period of time, but
Well, I was born in Israel.
Oh my gosh, where?
Roughly? In Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv. How long were you there?
I came to the States in 1974. So most of my early years, all my early years, I was there, growing up there, and yeah.
And what brought you to America?
What brought me was I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and so I enrolled there, and after 5 semesters, I graduated and moved to New York, and the rest of my life.
You made a decision to come to the U.S. to study music at Berklee as opposed to a music school in Tel Aviv or Haifa.
Well, I went to a music school in Tel Aviv. I went to the Academy of Music in Tel Aviv, and I was more attracted to the stuff that they had to offer in Berklee, as far as like the jazz part of it, and writing for big band, writing for movies, and a friend of mine that came back and went there like in the early years told me a lot about it, and I thought it would be a nice place to go to study.
This is Yaron's Gershovsky's story, his early years. What about you, JANIS SIEGEL? You are, with that name, you're Jewish too. How Jew are you?
Well, I was brought up. I brought up in Brooklyn, and in a Jewish neighborhood. Yay, Flatbush, and
Ocean Parkway?
No, 26 between Quentin and R.
Right.
Which is across the street from James Madison High School.
Oh,
off Bedford Avenue. Kings Highway.
Kings Highway, oh my God, yes.
Yes.
And were you conservative? Yeah. Were you liberal? Were you...
We were reform. I would say rather reform.
Almost goyish, essentially.
Not really. Not really. We weren't kosher. We didn't keep kosher. Almost 3 of my brothers were bar mitzvahed. I dated a rabbi for 12 years. Does that count?
It actually does. How old were you?
I mean, I was in my 50s and 60s.
Okay. Oh, recently, or it wasn't like
fairly recently. Yeah,
So, without getting too personal, but of course, I always get way too
please
personal.
Don't. Oh, what? He was a conservative. He was a conservative rabbi.
Was he a good guy? I mean, just things.
Yeah, fabulous guy. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic guy.
So would you have been a Rebbitzin had you guys gotten married?
I don't know. What is that?
Think about it. Well, no, the wife of a rabbi turns into a Rebbe.
Yeah, well, I'm a rabbi in my own way, I think.
In what ways?
Well, rabbi is teacher, is it not?
Oh, and you teach singing?
I teach at NYU.
Oh, the host of this program, the guy Dave, he has his 2 degrees from NYU, so that's his.
Yeah, I teach with Lauren Kinnan, who my dear friend and colleague, who's also a harmony singer from another vocal group, and we have an ensemble called the Village Voices.
Okay,
Duh.
the Village Voice doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't even make
No,
any
that was my favorite paper. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so you're very old. You're alternative-y kind of.
I'm an alternative kind of person. Yeah.
Kind of person. So here's the deal. Both of you, notice the arm motions here because I am Jewish. Both of you got involved in the fairly early years of the Manhattan Transfer. How did that come about? One of you.
Well, I'll start because
Yeah.
I'm a founding member.
Wait, no. There were I read this thing. You came in like 3 years after the original, and then they collapsed, and then you were mentioned.
Well, there was a original group that lasted for one record, and then they disbanded. And
the founding member
the
of
Manhattan Transfer that started in 1972 with myself, Laurel Massey, Tim Hauser, and Alan Paul.
So what was the idea? At that point, you were completely a cappella, yes?
Nope, never.
No, I'm wrong about everything. Yes, okay.
Yeah, don't believe what you read on the internet.
I don't, except it involves Israel and Hamas. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. But so what was the idea? It was kind of like nobody else was doing that kind.
What's the big idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, nobody. What's the big idea? Nobody was keeping 4-part harmony in the popular zeitgeist, and nobody was mining the incredible vein of American music that we discovered as people in our 20s.
Again, you were growing up in a time when the music would have been everything from the Ramones to the Talking Heads to like the Stones and the Beatles. How did you suddenly get onto your parents' record collection, essentially?
Yeah, my parents weren't big music. I mean, they liked music, but it wasn't like a house full of music all the time. So, yeah, we like Broadway music, which was great in those days. A lot of Cy Coleman for sure. Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I mean, this is the era. We're talking about 1972 to 71. We're coming out of the singer-songwriter era. We're coming out of the era where performers were in jeans and ripped t-shirts and playing guitars. And I was one of those people. And where there was a little bit of upsurge in people's incomes, and people were starting to dress up and go out. Glitter rock was starting. It was David Bowie, the New York Dolls. And we were very influenced by a San Francisco group called the Cockettes, who used the music of the
people?
Yes, acid drag, absolutely. And Tim Hauser's sister was a founder of the Cockettes. So she was involved with us and dressed us and advised us on music. And we were very interested in the incredible wit and sophistication and harmonic possibilities of that music. And no one was doing it. Yeah. And we wanted to sing. We were all thrilled by the idea of 4-part harmony.
Now, Yaron, what was because you were also in a different kind of musical universe before discovering all this. So how did you come into this kind of 1920s, 30s, 40s, bringing that back?
Well, my early musical education was basically classical piano studies. I studied piano privately, classically, since the age of 6 in Tel Aviv, and where I was born. And growing up in the early teenage, I started to explore jazz music. And it started with the music of Bud Powell, George Shearing, Les McCann, and people like this, Oscar Peterson, that really attracted me to this type of music. And after my army service and a brief but very successful musical career in Israel, I was producing and arranging and recording, and I had a weekly TV show. And after this, what happened was that after this, I decided that I want to explore and enrich my musical education by coming to Berklee College of Music. And initially, my plan was to go back to Israel after I'm done studying. I didn't know. But I moved to New York, and I started to come in on the musical scene over there. I played with people like Pharoah Sanders, saxophonist, and getting a little bit slowly into recording sessions. And in 1979, when after the Extensions album, the Manhattan Transfer was putting together a new band to go out on the road, and this is when Laurel Massé was replaced by Cheryl Bentin. Laurel Massé left, and Cheryl Bentin joined the band, and this is basically in a nutshell my history with the Manhattan Transfer, how I got into this. And I must say truthfully that a lot of it, thanks to Janis and Tim and the singers, that they introduced me to all kind of music, the vocal harmonies and all this stuff. But I knew about the Manhattan Transfer even in Israel before I came here.
Oh, wow.
They were famous there as well, very much so.
Now, I do have to, since you brought it up, I do have to ask, what was the most interesting or scariest or funniest thing that you saw when you were part of the Israeli military?
Oh, nothing that I need really to get into it, but basically I was just doing an army service, like a regular army service. I was not a fighter. I was working in communications.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
I do both.
Always was. No, yeah. But I fight with the people I love. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a Jewish answer right there.
That's a Jewish answer right there, right?
I'm sorry, I gotta give you this.
Okay.
That's good right there. Yeah.
But yeah. So, but you know, being it's mandatory over there, and I did it.
But you didn't see combat, or you weren't in any kind of weird.
No. I was not into any combat. No.
Now, speaking though, I will revise that question for both of you. What is the weirdest, funniest, strangest things that you have encountered when performing in concerts and things, like audience members doing nutty things, roofs falling in?
Oh, do you have a couple of hours?
We do. So,
I can volunteer one.
Why don't you start?
Some of my count-offs.
Yes, were hilarious. One of my favorite stories is at the Blue Note in New York, when an audience member, who was a little in her cups, shall we say, crawled under the piano during a song and fell asleep.
Well, she loved the shoes that I was wearing,
and her family left her there.
Yeah.
That was good. That's oh my God! And was she there the whole rest of the concert, or did they?
No, they got rid of her. They took her finally. I mean, people came up on stage and carried her out.
I mean, she was quiet. She was asleep, or was she snoring?
Was she drunk? She was kind of drunk.
Yeah.
She was a little drunk.
Oh my God! She could be an extra big of percussion when you just need a little.
That was fun.
Yeah. What else? What's another funny thing that happened? Because, you know, you've played so many dozens and dozens, hundreds of concerts and things. Something else that funny or scary or strange that occurred in performance?
In performance.
Well,
I recall one particular situation when it just blacked out. Everything was blacked out and there was no sound. Everything was dark on the stage. I don't know.
That was in Philadelphia. That was at the Keswick.
At the Keswick.
And we finished the concert by candlelight, I think.
Yeah, and it was a cappella.
Sang a cappella.
Perfect. If there's ever a time for
if there's ever a time to whip that thing out, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be then. Also, I do recall a time in I want to say it was either Napoli or Sicily, where the symphony was drinking during the day.
Yeah, outdoors. It was an outdoor concert in the afternoon, and next to every player there was a bottle of wine or like a glass of wine.
You gotta love Italy. But man, it was like
It was
Painful.
it was unbelievable.
Out of
Well,
two
the instruments were
strings
two,
are
but not
bad.
to each other. Oh dear, that's a problem.
Yeah,
Well,
it was a problem.
yeah.
But again, the answer Italy. It's Italy.
It's Italy, isn't it? By the way, we are not in Italy. We are here in the neighborhood talking to JANIS SIEGEL and Yaron Gershovsky. Remember that they've got their album coming out. It's called The Colors of My Life, a Cy Coleman songbook. That's going to be released by Club 44 Records this Friday. So can you tell us what are a couple of songs on there? Where are they from? Why did you choose these rather than, 200 other Cy Coleman songs that were potential? Either of you.
Well, let me just preface this by saying the impetus for this project was like one night at the bar, probably on the road, Yaron and I realized that we both worked with Cy Coleman directly in different capacities.
Yeah.
And, probably Yaron said, wouldn't it be fun to do a record of his songs? Because he's such an incredible composer. I mean, beautiful, beautiful and challenging melodies, and worked with amazing lyricists from Carolyn Lay to Dorothy Fields to the Bergmans, and he was.
But Janice, I have to ask, how did you work directly with Cy Coleman?
I was part of a vocal ensemble that he put together. I think it was pretty much the last thing he did. He was writing a new song cycle with Alan and Marilyn Bergman. And he, of course, he wanted to test it out, and it wasn't like testing it out in a little bar or, a little club, and it was at the Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
So basically, it was watching a workshop on stage live. I mean, I think we were on book too. And Cy was on stage with us, Alan and Marilyn were on stage with us, and we sang the songs that he had just written, these new songs that I don't think anybody has heard. We recorded one of them.
Yeah.
So none of them is on the new CD.
Yes, one is.
Oh, yeah.
One is.
Yeah.
So that's the beginning of the project.
Yeah. Well, my involvement with Cy was when they put together the Broadway musical City of Angels, that, by the way, got 6
Tony nominations. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
Tony wins, or Tony, did it win the Tony that you're at Grand Hotel? Which one?
no, it did win the Tony for best 6 Tonys, and one of them was best musical, best music, everything. Is like they covered everything with those 6. And it's funny because Billy Byers, who was the orchestrator for this musical, Billy Byers of Count Basie fame, and is like one of the greatest orchestrators to play trombone in the Count Basie big band. He was joking with him because he said, this was the first show that I wrote vocal arrangements on Broadway. It was 1989. And he says, it took me like almost 50 shows to orchestrate a show that got a Tony. And here you go on the first show you work on and it gets a Tony. I said, well, what can I say? I said to him, it's because of your orchestrations probably. But anyway, so Cy Coleman called me and he asked me to write vocal arrangements for a quartet that was a part of the show City of Angels. They called them Angel City 4, they called them. And they were like a Greek chorus. They were singing and commenting on things.
They were like a Manhattan Transfer Group.
Exactly. And that's why Cy Coleman, he says, we want to do, and he said in his word that we wanted to do it a la Manhattan Transfer vocal arrangement for 4 parts. So I said,
he wrote the music, but you arranged it for the voices.
Yes, I did the vocal arrangement for this show. And that's how I work with him. So for all those months prior to the rehearsals and the rehearsals, I was closely working with him because they also did, like Janice was mentioning, the workshop they did at Kennedy Center. So he did like Becker's auditions, for example, when they're trying to get people to finance the show. So some of those were up at his townhouse on Madison Avenue in New York that had an elevator inside, just a private elevator, and then you come up and you play the piano, and Larry Gelbart's wife, Pat, was singing, and Cy was singing and playing at the piano, and I was playing, and the quartet was singing, and that's how they were trying to raise money for the show. And then 3 months later, the show came up, and like I said, it was a very successful show. Yeah.
So again, getting back to the songs that you guys chose for this new CD, What
Yeah.
are why them? Some of them.
Well, we wanted to have a couple that we felt, a lot of people don't really know Cy Coleman or what he's done. So we wanted to have a couple of songs that maybe are his most famous, and we picked The Best Is Yet to Come, of course. I've Got Your Number
Witchcraft.
and Witchcraft. I would say those are the big three.
Now you chose the ones that people would be like, oh, good. This
Oh,
song.
that's Cy Coleman.
What are,
Yeah.
what are the other ones that you personally, both of you, were like, nobody knows this one, but we're doing this one?
Well, one classic, by the way, if I may, what is With Every Breath I Take, which is actually from City of Angels.
Yeah, we did that.
That Janis sings it like, wow. Anyway, like nobody else sang it before. It's amazing. But this is the connection with City of Angels of this, and yeah, Janis, you want
It's
to?
a very challenging song.
Yes.
I've always loved it. I mean, I loved it. But
No,
we did, I guess one thing that we did that's not that well known is something he wrote with Peggy Lee, which is called That's My Style.
Oh my!
Just
Now here's the thing. I would ask you to warble if a line or two or three from these songs. Now Facebook doesn't like when we do this because of ASCAP and BMI. And if you're
Yeah,
getting
be
ASCAP,
careful.
you know how painful that is. But the thing is, so we risk being muted or something. But would you like to? Would you like to give a little bit of it?
would I like to?
Morning.
Not
No,
really.
Okay.
I would like you to buy the record though.
By the way, from Club 44 Records.
44, right? I mean, let me go get a copy of it right now and I'll show you.
Yeah, well, please, yeah, show it on the thing because we can't.
Yes.
We'll talk to Yaron, who is also. So, what other projects have you? Oh, well, here we go. Oh, that was quick. That was really quick. And it's even in the shrink wrap. Oh my goodness.
It's still in the shrink wrap. It's brand new, hot off the presses.
Well, yeah, it's
yeah.
not released until Friday. It's really brand new. People can't even get it
It's
yet.
really brand new. I mean, we did do the title tune is from the musical Barnum. I mean, we wanted to address his Broadway work certainly, but we also, I think, one of the coolest cuts is an instrumental that he wrote for Hugh Hefner's TV show Playboy After Dark. It's called the Playboy theme,
Wow.
and Yaron plays the ever loving stuffing out of it. And yeah, he started as a jazz pianist.
Yeah.
With a trio, Cy Coleman.
Yeah.
He's from the Bronx too, so that's in his favor.
Coleman, so but let me also getting back to also the previous things we were talking about. And Janice, you mentioned that you were a founding member of Manhattan Transfer, but you left it not kind of recently, didn't you? I read somewhere.
No, we retired.
Well, all right, why?
Well, we did
No, I
our
mean, it's
last.
not like you're 90. It's not like you can't sing anymore.
It's not like I'm 90. Thank you. That's the best thing that anybody said to me yet today. But the day is
Or
young, I
80 or
guess.
70. It's not like, you can still very much sing. And, yeah, and
Yes, I can, and I
Sure.
will.
Yeah.
But it was a group decision. With a vocal group, it's not that easy to keep going and sing charts in an original key. It's people want to hear certain songs at every show. They just want to hear them. And it's hard to make that keep sounding good without lowering the key so much that it's muddy, for instance. And also some of my partners just wanted to find some other colors in their life.
Other colors
So
in their lives.
we're all finding. You see how I did that? Yeah.
Awesome,
We're all-
awesome.
Now, you guys are going to be at Birdland next Tuesday, but are you going to tour? Are you going to go other places? How much of your lives is spent with a suitcase these days?
Well, we have a tour coming up in Europe in July.
Yeah, we're going to be in Sellersville, Pennsylvania.
Sellersville on June 23rd.
Yes, June 23rd, and Birdland is June
11th.
11th.
Yeah.
And you
And
can
we-
get tickets at
Birdlandjazz.com.
Yes, you know it.
You see?
You know it.
You know it.
We have so many people on this program who, Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. I mean, and Minster O'Donnell, and folks who've been on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
you guys have worked with, I'm sure, over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Vince Giordano played at my cousin's wedding.
Oh,
That's how I met him. Yeah.
Now, you've also worked fairly extensively, Janis, with Bobby McFerrin. Do you have any Bobby McFerrin stories, any anecdotes?
Well, I mean, my time with Bob, I met Bobby when he was still sort of playing piano in piano bars and stuff. I mean, he was just starting to sing with John Hendricks group. I mean, one of the greatest groups John ever had was
Yeah,
John, Judith, his daughter Michelle, and Bobby.
yeah.
That was killing. But you couldn't sort of box Bobby in.
Well,
So
no,
he was just starting to experiment with the whole circular breathing, a cappella singing thing that he does. And my friend Linda Goldstein, my very old dear friend, manages him to this day. So I was very involved
smart
with
man,
Bobby.
Jewish manager, very smart man. This is have to, very, very
But
wise.
I mean, my time with Bobby on the road was extraordinary because we would do 2-hour shows every night. Nothing was planned at all. It was all improvised. I mean, Bobby, it was voiceistra. So there were 3 voices on each voice part. So 3 altos, 3 sopranos, 3 basses, 3 tenors, and then Bobby in the middle. And he would start off something and he'd improvise, and then he'd come upon a riff that he liked and he'd repeat it, and he'd figure out which voice part he'd want to sing it. So he'd go to the basses, for instance, and the basses would pick it up. And then he'd move on to another voice part and he'd create this tapestry, and then orchestrate it and stop voices.
Wow.
And have a solo, tap you on the solo shoulder, and you'd go out and solo on it. So it was the most low stress gig I ever did in my life
Yeah.
because there was no preparation except to be in the moment.
Yeah, I know he just did that.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's very primal,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
that's very primal percussion that probably
that you hurt your boobs.
cavemen.
Yeah.
No, it's up here.
All right, it's higher up there. But yeah, all right, but still. So also have a question here for Yaron, because she has worked with a luminary like Bobby McFerrin and John Hendricks, by the way, of Lambert Hendricks and Ross and those ones. But you worked with Avram Fried and Mordechai Ben David.
Can you imagine that?
What?
Can you imagine? That's a interesting musical switch.
Yes. Tell me
Right.
some stories, or did you know Speak a Pick also, or Yafa Yarkoni?
I played with Zvika Peak. I played with Yafa Yarkoni. I played with Shlomo Artzi. I played with everybody. Yossi Ban. I played with all of them in Israel. Believe
So
it
do
or
you
not.
have any anecdotes about any of these people?
Anecdotes. For example, I remember with Mordechai Ben David, we did a tour in South Africa, and it was a very incredible tour. Just to, it's almost like at that time I was visiting like another planet, So
Oh, this was like 70s, 80s before.
This was 83. It was 83. So
wow.
it was painfully interesting, if I may say so.
Well, did you feel bad? I mean, a lot of people would, how dare you go play?
Well, I just wanted to go and see how it was really like, because I heard all the stories from our history about how things were, and I think in some levels it can be compared, So I wanted to see that, and I could only call it like to be on a different planet, But it was an interesting thing, and yeah, it was painfully interesting. Yeah, and but on a happier note, I mean, we played. I did arrangements for Israeli Songs Festivals, and like people like Shlomo Artzi, like and others, and it was a great time in my life during that
I mean,
time.
I remember going to Hebrew school, and the album would come out every year of the Israeli Song Festival. It would be in our area. It was a big thing, and then these watercolor covers and.
So 1973 was a song that Shlomo Artzi sang, Pitom Kamadam, which was my arrangement, and things like this. I had also a TV show there that was called Nikui Rosh that I wrote the song for. So it was a busy, very successful time there.
What was your television show like? Were you?
It was called Mifgash Omanim, which means in English, I would say, get together of artists, and every Wednesday night, it was like a variety show, like I would say, like a Johnny Carson show kind of thing, and there would be guest artists, and we were the house band.
Oh my God, yeah.
You
It
know,
also reminds me of
so I was like the Paul Schaefer. I was the Paul Schaefer.
Oh, you were the musical, not the.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I get it.
Paul Schaefer with all the
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So,
get it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. No, because it reminds me of we just a week or two ago lost David Sanborn. I don't know if you ever played.
Yeah.
But he used to have a show late night on Channel 4.
Yes.
When Michael's with
And he had great music there. He had amazing music there, like that music that you won't hear on TV or almost on, like very interesting. Yeah, it was my favorite show.
Oh my God, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So by the way, we have just a couple more minutes left here with JANIS SIEGEL and Yaron Gershovsky, who are putting out this album. I know Yaron. See, I can sing.
My name never sounded so good.
Thank you. Oh, well, no, when you sing it, I'm sure. But she's hold up that CD. Don't you put that thing down there. The Colors of My Life, a Cy Coleman songbook coming to us from Club 44 Records, and they're going to be at Birdland also on June 11th. Get your tickets.
Yes, and one show only at 8:30. So I think you better. I mean, reservations are highly recommended.
Now, Janice, one thing also that do you still do? Because I love doing. He did a TV show. I'm doing this podcasting with Dave. Do you still do radio at BGO, the jazz?
Yes,
station?
I'm a new host at WBGO. You know, I'm it's my station basically. I mean, I actually am an avid listener, and I was a big supporter of the Singers show, Singers Unlimited, with my buddy Michael Bourne, who unfortunately passed. So I'm a part of the new iteration of Singers Unlimited. I host with the wonderful Leslie Harrison, who is also a singer. So the twist, the new thing is that it's two singers talking about singers. And we're on Saturdays and Sunday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. And tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to be pitching for their fundraiser from 8 to 10 a.m.
So
Trying to raise money
radio,
because it's public. It's our public radio, and I would hate to see it go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in this climate.
So it also makes me want to ask the question, and it does not have to be a Cy song. For each of you, what is your favorite song ever?
Oh man, that's impossible.
It's hard to say, really.
That's impossible.
Top three.
My current favorite song is, I have to say, it's "I Walk a Little Faster" by Cy Coleman. I just
why that song?
Well, the melody is so gorgeous, and it's got this quirky little verse that's only 2 lines, but it sets up the song. Yeah, it's a very unusual verse, and the premise. I mean, the premise is very sophisticated and emotional. I think who wrote that? Was it Carolyn Lee? It was Carolyn Lee,
I
probably.
think yeah.
All right,
Just like you're pining for your lost love, or somebody who left you, and you're walking on the street and you're hoping that on the next corner you're going to see them, and so you walk a little faster, but they never show up.
Yeah, with me, it's seeing a student with a divest sign. I'm like, I walk a little faster. What about you, Yaron?
Yes, I would say, can I have 2 songs? Simply because, like Janice said, every day it's almost like a different song.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs ever, and it's a combination of the song, the words, the production, and everything, is "Bridge Over Troubled Water."
Oh, wow.
Which I think the singing of Art Garfunkel on that song is something very special, and I don't think that's why it makes it so difficult for other people to sing that song. And I think it's just an amazing song. I love the Playboy theme of Cy Coleman. Well, okay, not only because it's basically a piano thing, but it brings me a lot of memories from the 70s, if you recall the theme song from The Odd Couple that Neil
It's
Hefti wrote.
very Neil Hefti, very Neil
So
Hefti.
it's a very Neil Hefti, and the song, you play the song and the harmony and the vibe.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear a great song from the 70s, it makes you feel that kind of feeling, fuzzy feeling of the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, so this was currently, it's my favorite song, and so.
Well, this has been like my favorite moment of the week, being able to talk to these delightful people, talented people. We've been talking with JANIS SIEGEL and with Yaron Gershovsky. They're both together, going to be on the CD that JANIS was holding up. You can hold up again if you want to. Please hold it right to the camera. The Colors of My Life. And actually, when you get it home and you take the wrap off, it doesn't shine like that in my eyes, but it's a Cy Coleman songbook.
Yes.
The wonderful songs that they've been doing, and that's available this Friday. Oh, there's the back cover. Look at them. Oh, so bespoke, and the tie and the suit and everything.
Yes.
That was an accident, but it worked. Yeah.
No, it looks great. I mean, what, you both didn't know what you were going to wear to the shoot? And then,
Not really.
Wow.
I mean, generally.
And
You
then,
have to trust.
what will you be wearing, both of you, on Tuesday?
Wouldn't you like to
But you have to
know?
come by and see.
Where do they have to come by to? Where do they have to go?
The Birdland Jazz Club, West 44th Street, Manhattan.
315 West 44th.
315 West 44th.
Can't
Can't miss it.
Avenue. Yeah. And it's birdlandjazz.com for tickets. And also, do you want to push your individual, do you have your individual websites or anything like that where people can go to?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, of course, but sadly, but I have a website, I've been told. It's janisiegel.com.
JANIS SIEGEL, SIGEL.
SIEGEL.
SIEGEL.
Yeah, I mean, people spell it. My own cousin insists he spells it with an A, SIEGAL.
Oh.
It's that branch of the family.
Something happened in Ellis Island that wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what about Yaron?
Yes, I have. I'm also on Facebook and on Instagram, and I also have a website, and it's called yaronmusic.com.
Yeah,
What was that?
Don't give people Gershowski. They're just going to get so. But yaronmusic.com. YARON, yaronmusic.com.
Perfect.
Both of you, I wish you much success for the CD and much success for the concert. And then in Sellersville, Pennsylvania? Ooh.
Sellersville, Pennsylvania, delightful little intimate venue. That's the 23rd of June. If you're in the Philly area.
It's at 2 o'clock p.m. 2 p.m. It's a
bring the kids, bring the grandkids.
nice way to spend Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely. And what a wonderful way to spend Shabbos morning with these two wonderful talents.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, and shalom to you both.
Shalom to you too. Thank you so much.
Betcha. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.